Hi, this is Brian, and welcome to my channel. I would like to today speak about the shift that's happening on the planet. Uh, for thousands of years, we have been controlled by the masculine patriarchal energy, the left brain, the rigid side of the brain, the extreme side of the brain, with the rejection of the feminine energy. And Carl Jung even said back in the 30s, I believe it was, the problem with the world was the rejection of the feminine energy. And so, from my knowing, my soul's knowing, it's time for the feminine. But it's not about it's time for the female, the gender female. It's time for the feminine within both genders, within the men and within the women. Because the feminine is equally in both of us. And it's all the in the past, all the male, artists, the painters, that Van Gogh and others, that for so long they wanted to express themselves. Their right brain, their artistic side, the feminine, wanted to express itself, and the world didn't support that. The world looked down upon that. And it's really the masculine left brain, logical, analytical, that was looking down upon the feminine. And so there's a huge birth happening within all of us if we allow it to. However, people that are in the analytical, logical side of the brain are afraid of the feminine. They're afraid of the feminine within them because they've been taught that it's something that you do not allow to come forth. The feminine is all about vulnerability, it's about intimacy, and it's about acceptance, it's about flexibility. I made some notes. It's about the heart, it's about oneness. The masculine is more about control. It's more about the mind, it's more about dualism, seeing things good, bad, right, wrong, rigid, inflexible, same thing. So the true feminine doesn't overpower another. So any actual gender of a female that is pushing their beliefs and their wanting to change things in a pushing way, that's more I would say, that's more the masculine part of them. That's more the ego part of them that is feeling like they have to force it to make it happen. And, the true feminine holds space for the masculine part to create. It's so powerful in just being. The feminine is about being. And when you just be, you allow the masculine part of Creator, the divine part, to really manifest what it is that God wants to manifest through us. That inner, what I want to say is infinite source, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, all the Krishna, Brahman. I actually want to include all of Jesus. I want to include all of that because God wears many costumes of us and has many names. And it is about to respect everyone's beliefs and everyone's religions, everyone's pathways, because that is the feminine. So I want to share. I saw the movie about Mr. Rogers, the real man, Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. They were going to take away funding, $21 million from his TV show for children, and he went to Congress. And when it came time for him to speak, the person he had to speak to was was appearing to be very rigid, the most rigid that you can possibly think of in many ways. And Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, said, "You probably don't want to hear all of the details, all of the stuff that I could tell you, you know, the ratings and the... I can't remember exactly, but he basically kind of was like, mm-mm." And so Mr. Rogers just kind of did this, and the feminine spoke through him and said, "The show that we put on, message, is to let every child know that they're okay, just the way that they are. That they're precious." I'm not sure of what words he used exactly, but that they're precious, and we, on the show, want every child to know that they're loved and supported and safe and heard and acknowledged. Things like that. And he said it very peacefully. I mean, the heart of the feminine just spoke through him. I'm not even sure if it was really the human part of Mr. Rogers. And the man, the congressman, didn't say anything for a moment. And then he said, "I guess you have your $21 million. And that, Mr. Rogers didn't get argumentative, didn't get challenging. He spoke from the heart of the feminine. And so, when we do that, that is when the change happens effortlessly versus a struggle. Because these are the two worlds. And most people live, I would have to say, most people live in the analytical, logical side of the brain. And then it's more of a minority that live in the right-hand side of the brain of the feminine. And so, if you live in the left-hand side of the brain, speaking any of the things that I speak about, most people will maybe not be able to understand it. Seeing the invisible world, people will not understand it. They will think that you're hallucinating, and they will think that you're crazy, and so forth. So, and if someone is mostly just in the right-hand side of the brain, too much feminine, then you become airy-fairy, and you're not able to ground the truth in this vessel and have the messages from Creator be heard. You will be all over the place. Trust me, I know that one. But the masculine energy is the part of us that creates. So both, we need both. And really in truth, the whole problem with the world is the division that's within everyone, not within everyone, but the division within most people with their own consciousness. And so I would like to say, or I have said to people, we're all like little mini movie projectors. We have pure source, creator, God energy flowing into us all 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then when it starts to hit our beliefs, our programming, our emotions, our fears, our worries, what our soul came in from a previous lifetime, what our parents told us, what society told us, that pure creator energy goes to a lower frequency. And whatever we have within us, we're constantly sending out frequencies. We're projecting out frequencies. Just like a movie projector, that pure light projects the movie onto the screen. Our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings and our emotions and our traumas and our joys, we send out those frequencies and we attract those frequencies, and voila, the outer world is our movie. And so I'm just seeing if there's anything else. I want to also talk about, because a lot of people think that the feminine is the female gender, and the masculine is the male gender. And I want to explain that there is many females walking around basically having the masculine energy part of them in their everyday life. And I want to take the example of a father and a mother. It kind of hit me. I'll use my own parents as an example. My mother had a lot of anxiety, bless her soul. And so there was a lot of fear, and there was a lot of control. And she was a Virgo, and that analytical, like needing to make sure everything was clean and fit into place and so forth. My dad was more easygoing and more, let's just say, wanting to have fun. And like when I was a little boy, I was told that I fell down, and my mom was worried about me falling down, and my dad said, "Oh, let him just fall down." And my dad wanted to take us sledding, but then my mom was more about, "Oh my God, you need to be clean, and this needs to be cleaned," and so a lot of what my mom was exhibiting was the masculine part, that rigid part. And a lot of what my dad was exhibiting was the feminine part, flexibility. Don't make such a big deal out of it. Just let's have fun. Let's just enjoy life. And so, many mothers, husbands, wives, all the wives out there that, the husband does end up chipping in and washing the dishes, and they're not clean, and then the wife's like, "Well, you need to clean them better, and you need to do this with the children, not that with the children," and that's all masculine control. But I do like clean dishes. So sometimes people need to clean things a little bit better, but that's just my own programming. And I would have to say, the part of the mother that is protecting its children, her children, and also the father, but the protector, I would have to say that's the masculine energy that kicks in, because the masculine energy is like that strength part of us, and that nope, you're not going to do that, you're not going to, hurt my child, whatever the situation. And I would have to say that's the masculine part of us. And the feminine tends to sometimes, of course, be more vulnerable, more open, more flexible, and sometimes can, well, we've seen it over the ages, the pure feminine being trampled all over, taken advantage of, and pushed around. So, anyway, I wanted to say that because I think a lot of husbands, a lot of men are mistreated. And they're mistreated because it's the masculine energy that is mistreating them. Any energy trying to control another is the masculine rigidity part of any female, of any male. And so we're shifting our consciousness on this planet. The feminine is awakening. But we're moving into a balance. And when we're balanced between the masculine and the feminine, that is when we will start to see harmony, peacefulness, abundance in our own personal projections of our own personal worlds, and also the whole entire world. Because the consciousness of a home, of a workplace, of a public place like an airport, or of a state, of a city, of a state, of a country, is the projection of its collective consciousness of the humans that are in that location. So I hope I did this. Let's see, feminine part of both men and women is soft, gentle, kind, loves without any conditions. The masculine energy would rather be in the working world. Say, like, if there's parents and they have a newborn baby, if the wife is more masculine, she may feel more comfortable being in the working world. And if the husband, the father, is more feminine, then he will want to be at home more so, and raising the children. So it's not about gender. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This is just a physical vessel. It's not our true essence. And I want to say, when one truly spiritually awakens and keeps going deeper within, I have found, to me, that is like the feminine part that you just want to be. You don't want to be doing anything, you don't want to be talking, you just keep falling deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself, and you're like, oh my God. It's bliss. And then you go beyond even I would say the feminine, and then you go into a nothingness. a stillness beyond the divine feminine, beyond the divine masculine. But it's the masculine part that is the doer, and it's the feminine part is the being again. And if you look at when a man and woman come together and they create a child, the womb, the eggs just stay there and they just be. And then the masculine energy of the little sperms, they're the doers. They're competing. And then, the female body holds space for the embryo to be created, to be formed. And that vessel is not the soul. The soul, a lot of my intuition and what I've heard, the soul is kind of around the mother and the father, and maybe in the 5th month comes in to the womb, into the embryo, and then lives the rest of its existence in that physical vessel. I know a lot of people will maybe not agree with me on that, but that's okay. I'm looking at my notes. Extreme polarities of this world is a reflection of the unbalanced mind within humans. The more you surrender, the less you want to do in the physical world. The ego part of us that gets beaten up so much, even by me, was created so we could have a physical experience of what it feels like to be a human, or any type of form. And God basically created that because it wanted to create individual humans so it could know itself. This is the human vehicle that we drive in this physical world. But who really drives it is God, is Allah, is Source, it's Buddha, Christ consciousness that beats our heart, gives us the breath of life. And it's only the ego program that has created the belief that we're separate from the absolute one. And I think that's it. So that is what I've been wanting to express for a while now about the birthing of the feminine energy within humans, on this planet, within generations. The younger generations are changing. The millennials, they're not concerned about the outer world, the material world per se. They're more they're more focused upon having life experiences and going out and about, traveling and connecting with people. It's the heart. It's the feminine. So they're going to be less rigid and more fluid. And again, the people that are living in the left brain that are rigid in their beliefs and their thoughts and their behaviors and how life should be, they're going to be threatened by the new energy. So it's all about having compassion for each other and helping each other cross that bridge from the analytical, logical, more into the right-hand side of our intuitive, our softer side, our feminine side of the heart. So I hope this made sense, and I hope it helps others to be able to understand what's happening on this planet. And I thank you for listening and coming to Expansiveness of Light. And have a beautiful, blessed day. And may you find your own freedom and your own truth within yourself. Bless you.